So the last thing I want to talk to you about, and I conservatively have gotten like 50 people, actually maybe closer to 100 people, X28. So I know you gave us tad bits, and I don't want to twist your arm too much, but we got X28 coming down the pipeline. And my first question is, do you have any plans on releasing a white paper soon?
Yeah. So X28. So I don't like giving exact dates because there is something really nice about unpredictability in the market. It keeps the believers in, gets the non-believers out because they want exact dates and like news events to play. So I'm keeping it unpredictable for a reason. But if you look at the Mike Dean Dune analytics, if you wanted to force something into hyperdeflationary mode, you'll probably do it around the point when almost all supply is in existence. So X28 is basically built, first audit is done, there was no issues at all. We're going to do a second audit on it, but the code is practically done for X28. UI is done for X28. Then there's some other things that we're working on. We're working on like 2 to 3 protocols. So X28 is done. Second protocol is close to done. The third protocol is the TitanX one. That one's also close to done. So we have a bunch of like silver bullets in the pipeline, which is good. But X28 is going to force TitanX into hyperdeflationary. So that's going to be after most of the supply is out. And the
Wow.
launch date, we'll announce it a bit beforehand. But people will definitely see some hints on Twitter, etc., etc. They're going to start paying attention. But it's not going to be a super hype launch phase. It's just kind of like it's going to be if you know, you know. And then we're going to get really loud around the start of it just to get the non-believers out. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. And hey, all I gotta say is when it comes to anything TitanX launching, you gotta know your numerology. I won't go into details, but that's one thing you need to know is numerology. So
Yep.
cool, man. I love it. I really like what you're putting out with X28. And based off the stuff you're saying, I think when it comes to interoperability with this protocol, that's going to be key for the adoption phase because in the future, I believe layer zero is going to be like the internet of blockchains. And that's what's really going to bring all these chains together through that communication. And then the next phase is creating a wallet that can interact with all these blockchains so that you don't have to have like 20 wallets on your tabs on your screen. I know all you guys know what I'm talking about. I got like 20 wallets set up and it's an absolute mess. But I'm really, really excited to see how this plays out. And then you actually answered my next question. The protocols you continue to build on top of TitanX. So we got 3 in the pipeline. My next question is, are you going to continue to keep building if you see something interesting going from
Yep.
here on out into the future?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I hate most about crypto. So I've been in since 2017, and I've seen so many teams. This is one of the biggest problems I wanted to solve with TitanX because I didn't want to be one of them. You have a bunch of teams that launch a bunch of protocols, and none of them are linked together. You have this protocol here, and then this protocol here, and then if users like you and they want to participate in the second protocol, they have to sell down the first protocol, which is fucking retarded. So I was like, okay, let's install this build on TitanX ethos so that even if we go through a bear market, we can continue to build on a bear market. We can have hype events going into the next bull market and kickstart the TitanX flywheel and the ecosystem again. It never has to die down because in crypto you have this extreme addiction to being early and being early in new things. So I was like, why does this all have to be like disconnected protocols? Like for example, on Pump Fund, you launch one meme coin, you launch another, one dies, the other maybe survives. At the end of the day, they both die because now you have community segmentation. None of it helps the other, etc. There's no liquidity bonding, there's no thing going on. So with build on TitanX, we want to continue to build on TitanX basically during the bear market, during the next bull market, etc., etc. Because the way you can turn an old thing into a new thing is by building a new thing on the old thing. So you can constantly have this newness factor instead of it having kill this community, create a new community. I hate that shit. I hate it. Because from a personal investment point of view, when I'm in something, I'm in it for like years. And you might sell a little bit and then buy back in a little bit lower, like during the bear market, etc. But usually when I believe in something, I believe in it for a very, very long time, like 10, 15 years, etc. So I wanted to create a crypto where people can keep building on top of it, keep it fresh, keep it new. Every new thing is a new flywheel added to one core thing that pushes up everything. So yeah, I have a bunch of ideas and more formal protocols as well. Like the big DeFi protocols can also be built on top of TitanX. So there's a bunch of things on the pipeline. Right now we're doing things that are extremely game theory based. And another cool thing about X28, yes, it will burn a ton of TitanX, but the end goal of X28 is to get TitanX on all chains. So people are gonna take your TitanX, transform it into X28, and X28 is going to exist on probably 12, 15 chains. And all interactions with X28 impact TitanX directly because it's the only place the supply is going to get created. It's on Ethereum. The only way you can create X28 is through TitanX. So X28 is basically going to be TitanX on all chains. So it's omni-chain, meaning that supply comes from one chain and exists on all chains. So we don't have to create different communities that all kill each other and cannibalize each other. It's all one big community existing on all chains. And then the builders will have the ability to deploy the protocols multi-chain across those chains and then use X28 as the currency for the protocol on each chain. So X28 is designed to take TitanX omni-chain and do it in a way that is extremely, extremely beneficial to the ecosystem. So
Love it, man. Love it,
that's
man.
like the renaissance of build on TitanX then.
Love it, man. Hey, great work, man. I think you got a lot of people bullish, and I appreciate that breakdown with you, man. And yeah, outside of that, that's all I want to ask you about X28. Keep the surprise going, and I think the big thing I love about TitanX is you're continuing to develop. You're getting people excited, and I put out a tweet 2 years from now. I think there's going to be 100 projects built on top of TitanX. Excuse me. And I think of those 100 projects, 90% of them are going to be believers, the people that were in TitanX day one or towards the beginning. So I'm really excited to see this play out, man. And I really do believe that when we phase into the next bull market, we get a massive inflationary period for the first 8 years, and then come into the next bull market, having less TitanX out there, it's going to be even more bullish, and arguably that 2028 could be our last big one where we get massive price appreciation. So any thoughts on that?
That sounds about good. Like TitanX,
Cool.
the distribution phase is done in September. So I would say after day 280, that's when you get the real price of TitanX. So in my opinion, the chart started on day 280 because everybody has a supply, distribution is out, next inflation won't really impact the price because 80% of it's in circulation. There's projects with like 10% supply in circulation and they get supply shocks all the time and they're doing totally fine. So I think after day 280, you get the real fair value of TitanX and the build on TitanX ecosystem. So for me, it started on day 280. It's good. And then even when new miners come in the future, they pay so much more to create TitanX. They get so much less. I think it's almost 10x more expensive now. So even if we get a second big adoption wave when it comes to miners in TitanX, it'll do nothing to the price. Like if net inflation will go down to, if it gets really insane, maybe 15% a year, maybe. So